everyone. I must say I am very nervous, so please, well, thank you, Ambassador Waltz, for this invitation. It is an honor to stand on this stage with you and the other distinguished speakers here today to shine a spotlight on the deadly threat faced by thousands of Christians in Nigeria. I would like to thank President Trump for prioritizing this issue and for his leadership on the global stage in calling for urgent action to defend Christians in Nigeria, to combat extremism, and to bring a stop to violence against those who simply want to exercise their natural right to freedom of religion or belief. I stand here as a proud New Yorker with a deep sense of gratitude that we live in a country where we can freely and safely worship God regardless of one's creed, background, or politics. No group should ever be persecuted for practicing their religion, like I recently stated on social media. And we don't have to share the same beliefs in order for us to respect each other. We're way beyond thinking or expecting or assuming for, the person sitting next to you to have the exact same beliefs. We're beyond that. That's ridiculous. But that shouldn't make one person feel less safe than anyone in any room. Music has taken me around the globe. I have seen how people, no matter their language, culture, or religion, come alive when they hear a song that touches their soul. Religious freedom means we all can sing our faith regardless of who we are, where we live, and what we believe. But today, faith is under attack in way too many places. In Nigeria, Christians are being targeted, driven from their homes, and killed. Churches.
I think if God wants to answer your prayer, He will be raising people for you. I think people have been rising up now. We have seen Niki Minaj come out to testify to it that definitely there is a Christian, persecution in Nigeria, and another person have joined Cristiano Ronaldo. But Cristiano Ronaldo precisely himself talk about the killing of Igbo in the southeast. What is your reaction towards this?
I think the world has got to understand the failure of the United Nations and the AU and the ECOWAS on issue of conflict resolutions, and not abiding by charters of self-determination. And when people begin to give reasons why they want to stay on their own, these are one of the reasons where people seek self-determination. And the fast and yardstick, of self-determination or of the entire Eastern Bloc, the Biafrans themselves, is clearly written that to an extent the North and the South acknowledge that there is deep suppression and oppression and marginalization of the people of Biafra in Nigeria. Then, coupled on that, we're still looking at how to balance that. There is this constant, killing and invasions of communities, ethnic cleansing, deliberately power supported, whichever way it is. The federal government of Nigeria remains, unfortunately, silent over this, and the continuity of it, as if the world was not watching, has triggered a reaction globally to the extent that the United Nations that don't want to hear anything about Nigeria is now paying attention. We must give courtesy to the United States government under Donald Trump. We must give courtesy to top American celebrities, Rihanna and Nicki Minaj, and so many of them, even Beyonce too. But the latest is that after Nicki Minaj made that exceptional appearance in United Nations, supported by the U.S. ambassador to United Nations, Michael Waltz, you can see the atmosphere, goes, very calm and quiet, and there's a lot of reason and murmuring. The diplomats were discussing, United Security Council have taken up the matter, and they are looking at options on this clearly. And to that extent, that was how the issue of Donald Trump and Cristiano Ronaldo and Nicki Minaj had a private, a discussion at the Washington office, the Oval office, where the United States president was even talking about his son Baron, being a fan of Cristiano Ronaldo and all that, and to an extent that like he want to place his Cristiano Ronaldo above his father and all that. So it was that kind of an atmosphere, and they went into the real issues where Cristiano Ronaldo, brought out several clips. I cannot tell you, it can fact check several clips of how the repentant Boko Haram, how Buhari and the rest of them, masterminded the security challenges in the eastern part of the country by going in different forms, aligning with unfortunate elements within the African AU and others, and the worst kidnap in the history of the world took place in Kenya, and that was what brought Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to DSS custody today. So Cristiano Ronaldo now tendered some of those clips, that I had. I don't know how he managed to get some of these things, believing that, yes, of course, we don't know his source, we don't know how he managed, but he presented a very clear picture of what is actually going on in the eastern part of the country. Of course, Biafra, and I was saying it very clearly that it looks like it's going to be, Biafra is going to be an option to stop genocide in Nigeria. Then on the Nicki Minaj angle too, she was just general about in Nigeria, providing fast, videos to the United States president in a private discussion. No media, nothing, nobody, just between these three people, they were discussing it deeply. And Donald Trump expresses, and even Nicki Minaj, expresses the kind of support, Donald Trump is giving to Christian persecution in Nigeria and killings in Nigeria, with overwhelming evidence, even though Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Nigerian government, have continued to an extent. The one that happened in recently, or is it in one of the churches, the CAC, where was also presented
in
Kwara was also presented to Donald Trump right inside there in the church. All these things are evidences, and this people now, these celebrities now, the United Nations themselves, I think they have taken a stand on that now. So it is left for the American government to look at options, like the Department of War, head of Department of War of the United States, make it very clearly, that all options will be given to Donald Trump, including disintegration of Nigeria. And that is what we are heading towards now. Then that he said that's the only way you can stop this thing, because by the time you begin to do, after a few years or thereabout, there's going to be a possible regroup, and that would endanger the life of Easterners and the Christians in Nigeria the more. So the only thing is not about military invasion. I think the best thing, the best option, Cristiano Ronaldo is pushing for, that a certain nation, a certain country should be allowed, given sovereignty and solidarity and support, to stand, and by so doing, then you have at least 50% solve the cleansing, ethnic cleansing or genocide, or or whatever it is against Christians in Nigeria. And that was the angle Cristiano Ronaldo came from, and it was reported in several media platforms around the world.
Recently you mentioned about the marginalization of people of Biafra. That Biafra name, I think, is a bit bigger than what you mean, because when we talk about Biafra, that name comprises all the south with southeast during the Biafra regime. So when we now talk about Biafra being marginalized, What about Jonathan that was president?
Let me just say it very well and quite circumstantial. You know, Jonathan did not just come there. Jonathan became president, you know, as a result of that. But if you look at the political structure, you know, at the way the Fulani government, Islamic government, was able to, you know, fragment the old Eastern Bloc, you know, and going as far as picking a man from Ijo, from that angle. If you look at it, you know that the Igbo nation actually gave Jonathan support in that angle. They didn't look at the divide between the South and South. They gave him the support. But in the real thing is that, you know, by the way the Nigerian government and the system perceived it, you know,
look at it.
They know that actually it is not a core Igbo a tribe that is there, even though they belong to the same block, you know, in reality. But I can tell you that in America today, America have 4 powerful tribes with over 52 countries. Each country represents ethnic nationality in the world. You have the ones that are Chinese, you have the ones that are the blacks, you know, name them British, Irish, all of the Indians, all of them are in America. So America have different tribes. So in Biafra, we have other ethnic minorities too, who are part of the structure and sovereignty of Biafra. So if we talk about that, you know, and look at the number of presidents Nigeria has produced, more came from the part of the North. And if you look at the people who have consolidated on the resources from that region, are still the Northerners.
Onyese, how important is it for a particular place to produce president if we have a country that balance everything, that, I mean, let you control your resources, contribute quotas to the federal? Will you have border who produce president, whether it's north or the south? Whether they give you what you want. You want seaport in your side, you have it. To what extent? I mean, do you think a tribe should be to produce presidents?
Femi, there's no balance of political structure in Nigeria. That is it. And there's basis for agitation. That's the basis for agitation. You know, and belief also, you know, there is marginalization, political marginalization, structural marginalization, you know, ethnic marginalization. They're all infrastructure and whatever, you know. And when you see some of these things, you know, getting involving, you know, becomes a reality. Those who felt that they are being denied of certain justice, you know, are the ones that are rising up and questioning, you know, why are we not part of this thing if actually we want to be part of it? So there's no need, you know, running a government that denies people governance. That's the fact.
Governance, participation.
So you are only interested on, you know, we need to put them on oppression and suppression so that they will not have the required, you know, strength of unification to question how their resources are being taken without them being included. So that is the fraction that is triggering this unity, where some people feel that they can lord themselves over certain people because of whatever international backing they're having. Bros, I can tell you very clearly now, you know, that British government are definitely going to align with American decision on Nigeria, and they are going to completely deny this Fulani and the Northern oligarchy.
I think it has come to that, and that one we put maybe their ends to their perceived affection for Fulani, because I think Britain like Fulani, maybe because of their conquest nature. Maybe that's why they like them. And I think with what you said, Britain have no choice but to end that perceived affection for Fulani.
Yes, even the problem is this, and very clearly, even though we are seeing top celebrities all over the world, you know, coming up and taking a particular stand, there's nothing they are telling you. They might not come out directly and tell you this is the direction they're actually going, but I can tell you, you know, that the Biafran quest has spread all over the world, and the only protection that will give to the Christian community in Nigeria, even including the South and the Middle Belt and Christian, is the possibility of taking refuge in a Christian nation in Africa called Biafra. That especially what we are witnessing in Nigeria. There's no how, if they are coming with their radicalism, it will not be allowed. Yes, it will not be allowed. So if somebody from the northern part of the country, in Middle Belt, who are Christians and afraid that can no longer be saved there, bros, nothing stops you. You can relocate. As long as, do you know why so many of them? Okay, I can tell you why. The first invasion that took place in Israel, where Assyria, the first country that invaded Israel was Assyria. And when Assyria invaded Israel for the first time, where did those Israelis run to? And where are they now? And I tell you that Israel is really scattered all over the world. It's a result of war. So if Christians in the Middle Belt senses that if Nigeria divides and they cannot be protected, they have an option of a Christian Biafran nation to run to. After all, the Nigeria-Biafran war is between Muslims and Christians.
To round it off, Mr. Onyese, you will wonder why should Fulani infiltrate, data, anything called data, when we talk of data, when we talk about data, we are talking about South in general, and they are known for radicalism. They are known for, is it radicalism? Agitation. They are known for their bravery. They are known for their, standing firm on their request. What make you think that Fulani will just go there, kill some people, rape women, and their women will be protesting, and you will not see reaction from offenders?
Yes, that's another very good question. That they are not only about resource control, they are also should be seen to be defending unfortunate invasion like the Fulanis entering Delta State and all that. Because it's a guerrilla warfare they are engaging themselves in. So they will not be able to actually carry out any resistance in that regard because they are running a secular society built on the unity of it, and that's what the Fulanis are capitalizing. They are capitalizing after Nigeria is won, they have right to be at anywhere. That's the point. So they come in that disguise and they infiltrate anywhere and carry out their nefarious activities, believing that after all they are Nigerians and they have right to be where anywhere at any time. And on that process, they will be able to carry out, But if you come to the issue of resource control and militancy, it has a definite purpose and a plan, quite different from this. But you can see that the infiltration by the northern oligarchy, the Fulani political powers in the old Eastern Bloc, went as far as deeply empowering the minorities that are creating this sentiment that we are not able, we are able, this and that, and that is actually what they want to achieve. And by so doing, that infiltration actually lead to stealing and corrupting the entire process of the resources of that place. And I can tell you, even as at that, what Imo State have is bigger than what Bayelsa have. In terms of gas.
Okay. I think we have the largest deposit of gas in Africa.
And that is where the whole thing is drifting out to. In the next few years from now, I don't think that the world will be talking more of crude oil. They'll be talking more of gas. So, but they have already succeeded in total destruction of that geographical region called Niger Delta. By the way, we are talking about Ogoni cleaning and all the rest of them. The infiltration and all that, the kind of massive poverty and pollution that is there. Asari Dokubo and the rest of them does not look at that. What they are looking at, how the federal government align, and that's what they want to achieve. When they create certain this type of figures, then they factor a lot of things around them and continue to carry out their nefarious sentiment and exploitation and slavery in that land. While few of them are rejoicing, many of the Niger Deltas are crying, and that is why we are seeing the current Ohanese president currently now, John Azonta Mbata, carrying out an underground, a grassroots unification that these two blocs must actually come together if they have to stand against this jihadist government and Islamic government in Nigeria.
Thank you very much.